thank the grace of heaven, the mercy, the mercy of the predecessors, masters and predecessors, and transmitters to give me this opportunity to talk about this class. Okay, um, so what is Buddha nature, right? So you hear many times we talk about Buddha nature class, all right? So the thing about this topic is that it can become very abstract, and that's the problem. But what I guess overall view is this: without Buddha nature, you wouldn't be listening to me, okay? Okay, because Buddha, you can view it from that's one angle, right? That's one perspective. That it is the Buddha nature that allows us to have the what? Allows our six consciousness, seven consciousness, and the five portals to operate. You get it? Okay, so that now some people call that a soul, a spirit. I don't want to go down that path because we have to be careful. Because some people, when they mean by soul and spirit, it's very specific. All right, so be, be be careful. All right, just be careful. Buddha nature is actually not the soul and the spirit. It you can say the soul or the spirit is actually like a representation, an avatar, if you will. Is that an avatar? Yeah, like an avatar of your Buddha nature. All right? Because it is the soul and spirit that we say, that goes to the underworld, right? Goes to celestial heaven, right? And if it goes to the underworld, it suffers, right? It goes to celestial heaven, it indulges, it takes pleasure, right? It enjoys pleasure. See, that's not really your Buddha nature, because Buddha nature there's no form and no description, because actually Buddha nature is, you can say it's unattached, right? It's non-attached, it's non-dualistic, right? Unperturbed, and unattached. There's four things to it. It's in this. It's in this diagram that we did, right? Couple classes ago, right? Right? It's unperturbed, non-dualistic, non-attached. Yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. Yeah. Okay. Because it's really indescribable. That's really what it is. Okay. Because it has, if we describe it, then we are applying a description or an image or a form to it, which is not true. I mean, it's not complete. Okay, it's incomplete. At best, it's incomplete. That's why it's really, you cannot describe it completely. Okay, so some people say it's a spirit. We have to be careful. All right, or so. Okay, because Buddha nature does not suffer, quote unquote. Has no physical sensation. It will not. It allows you to it. It has its function, but in itself, it doesn't. So we just call it essence. Okay, that's, you can say, the essence. And here's another thing. This Buddha nature, remember, said non-dualistic. It has no four forms, four images, or if we call four marks. That means there's no I and you. That's very interesting. That's why it's very hard to grab. Because how can all our Buddha nature be the same? It's really one. I mean, I don't want to say same, because same implies, it's dualistic too. Same, different, right, whatever. So it's really one. It's one. It's one. And what does this one mean? I don't mean the singular one. We call it one means it's everything. It's with everything. You can say it's or allows everything. It makes everything possible. The oneness, right? We call it the oneness. That's why, in this in this in this the list of terms, right? We mentioned it a couple times. There's 一如一真, and then there's right? 真知如是. It's that. Okay, it's that one. Now remember what, a few months ago we all viewed a video about Akasha, right? Okay, now be careful. Okay, once again, Akasha is not Buddha nature. We got to be careful. Okay, Akasha is like a description. Well, from a scientific term, we can say it's very similar to ether, the notion of ether, that it has infinite energy, or infinite space, or all that. Okay, that's more Akasha. Akasha is more like the, let's say, the background. But then there is something that controls it. Not to say controls it. Yeah, you can say controls it or controls it or manipulates it. Maybe that's a better term. That can do, and that's the Buddha nature. You get it? So it's the Buddha nature and the Akasha. That is the oneness. Understand? So really, that Buddha nature is really all powerful because if you have just Akasha without Buddha nature, then that's really still emptiness. You get it? That's like what we call vacuum or something, right? Just emptiness. You can say energy. Yeah, Akasha is really, energy is just one view because energy doesn't. I mean, energy is just one perception because also it implies space. There is a emptiness or whatever. Okay, whatever. Okay, all right. So we just have to understand what Buddha nature is, and when I say that oneness, all of us has that same essence. You get it? Okay, and that essence, because it's the same, in other words, we all have the same one, so there is no differentiation. Understand? So therefore, no sense of duality. Now, the reason why we have a sense of duality is because this oneness that it's in all of us, through our sixth and seventh consciousness, the mind and subconsciousness, right, creates thoughts, right? Creates thoughts, allows us to create thoughts. And then our thoughts, through our, or perceptions, or whatever, notions, ideas, impulses, volition, etc., through our five portals, right, when they interface with the external forms, creates what? Likes and dislikes. You get it? Creates likes and dislikes. 喜跟舍, right? And then that's duality, right? That's duality, right? That's duality. So therefore, I see you, right, as a form, right? Because I see you, you have a mind, I have a mind, you're an object, I'm an object. So that's duality. Get it? So that's how we create those four forms, four images. You understand? Okay? So unfortunately, that's the human condition, right? Most human, almost everybody would just say, hey, that's real, that's true. And then when we start having this notion of likes and dislikes, this dualistic mindset, we create desires. You get it? We create, well it's multi-steps, but that's okay. We have wrong view, meaning that we tend to think that, oh, I'm I, you are you, right? There's separation, right? There's some things that's good, there's bad, right? Good and evil, like, dislike, and that's how we create wrong views, and that's the two wrong views, right? Two wrong views. I mean, that's extreme. That's the extreme view. View of total annihilation or view of what? Everything's eternal, right? So we say, oh, the spirit's eternal, the body is not eternal. You get it? So we create these views, right? And then those views lead to likes and dislikes. Oh, I like this, I don't like that. I like this view, I don't like that view. Or whatever, okay, whatever. I like this object, I don't like that. Whatever, okay? And then that creates the desires. Desires lead to what? Attachments. And guess what? Attachments lead to what? We create karma. You get it? And then that's how come we end up in what? Perpetual reincarnation or samsara. So that's what Buddha was basically summarized in the Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths. He summarized it, basically. That's why humans have suffering, right? Suffering, right? Right? Dukkha, right? Suffering. And why we have samsara. Okay? Because we essentially did not understand that we all have this oneness, this Buddha nature that is the true essence of every sentient being. Rather, instead, we cling to, if you will, or we grasp, or we abide, we can say, abide in our conscious minds, the thoughts, the five aggregates. You get it? The five aggregates. And that's what lead us. We grasp that and we consider that to be true, to be real, to be the truth, and therefore we create what? All this. You get it? And that's how we lead to. And that's why he said basically the essence of all his teachings, his dharmas, it's really more detailed explanations, or you can say there are more expedient explanations or teachings of those Four Noble Truths. Essentially, that's what it is. That's all his teachings. Okay, but those all his expedient teachings, dharmas, etc., explanations, all are based from the Buddha nature. Understand? So that's why when we read all the sutras, all the scriptures, Buddha scriptures, we see the surface, right? We see the standard definition, just like this list. This list is pretty much all standard definitions or standard explanations or whatever definitions. But then beyond that, there is what we call the Buddha nature perspective, because it all comes from that oneness. Understand? That one, you could say the one, whatever, okay? The Dharma realm, the Dharma Dhatu, the Thasnas, Tathata, okay? It's all from that one. Understand? But because we're viewing it from the other side, from the other perspective, we see it, all these are different teachings, different doctrines, different principles, etc., etc. Understand? Get it? Okay? So that's why we have the three, the four carts, right? Or, we separate into the four carts, okay? But whether it's the fourth cart, whether it's the goat cart, deer cart, ox cart, or white bullock cart, it all leads to the same thing, or it all goes back to that oneness. Understand? Okay? So that's what Buddha nature, when we say Buddha nature class or Buddha nature position, view, whatever point of view, is that. Okay, it's that from that oneness. But you can see this infinite possibilities, infinite combinations, infinite phenomena, if you will, because it's all from that oneness. Understand? But do not mistake, and we tend to, and because that's the human conscious mind, we unfortunately take one of these views, and we hold that to be absolute, and that's the mistake. You understand? So that's why Buddha explained, right, in the Diamond Sutra, among other sutras, that he says, all the sutras that I talk is really, all the dharmas teachings, it's really not a teaching, not teaching. I didn't teach anything, because he's looking at it from that oneness. You understand? That oneness. Whereas we say, oh no, but you said such and such and this and such and that. So let me tell a funny story. Okay, not a funny story. Supposedly, it's from a Zen master. I forgot. Okay. So Buddha was conducting, just finished the teaching. Okay, to his disciples one day. Okay, I think this is Zen, one of the Zen stories. Okay, and one of the disciples, after the sermon or discourse, came up and asked Siddhartha, Buddha, and said, "Oh, Siddhartha, so what you just discussed or taught in this course, is this it?" I jumped the gun. He says, "Is it like is it this and this and this, right? Because he's just basically summarizing, what Buddha just taught, right? So is it, he had a question, so he goes, is it you taught? Your teaching is this, A, B, C, they did. And Buddha explained, yeah, it's that. And then the disciple said, okay, so is it just this, just these? And Buddha said, no. No. Buddha said, no. I jumped the gun. Sorry. Buddha said, yeah, it's just like I said, A, B, C, D, and then the disciple asked, okay, so is that it? That's all, right? That's all. And Buddha said, that's it. So that's it, right? That's your teaching. And Buddha said, no. You understand? See, it's like contradiction, right? It's like a contradiction, right? It's like Buddha's contradicting himself. First the disciple asked Buddha, oh, yeah, is it, A, B, C, like what you taught, right? Like what you just discussed. Yeah, this and that and that and that and that. Buddha said, yeah, it is. I talked about that. A, B, C, D, E. And then the second question that disciple asked, oh, that's it. That's only it, right? That's all, right? That's it. See, so what that disciple was saying, oh, That's it. That's the only. See, that's an absolute. That becomes an absolute position. You get it? Absolute view. Absolute view. Understand? And then Buddha said, no. You understand? See, Buddha is looking at it from the Buddha nature perspective. So any view is okay, is right, but it's appropriate only for that particular circumstance, situation, etc. So it's not the absolute. Understand? He's speaking from absolute because there's that oneness. And that's absolute, but it's indescribable. You understand? See, there's a subtle difference. See, that's a Zen. I think that's a Zen story. Okay? So that's why a lot of times for beginners, if you don't have these basic understandings, it's very difficult to see it from the other side. Understand? So that's why you have to learn. We have to learn. It's like teaching kindergartners calculus, differential equations. Come on. Will they learn that? Of course not. Right? They have to go what? 1 plus 1, 1 minus 1, 2 minus 1, 2 times 2, 3 divided by 1, 3 divided by 2. They have to learn those things first. Right? And many other things. But similarly, to understand truly Buddha, you really have to make an effort. Don't expect. Some people, I can't speak from an absolute point of view too, but probability-wise, okay, normal distribution-wise, okay, in general, most, I'm not saying everybody, most people, if you don't have a good foundation or a solid foundation of the concepts or teachings, then it's very hard to go to that level. Understand? Because for you, it's like, then there's nothing. It's like, everything's, feel good, is that oneness. Oneness. But that's empty. That's understand? That's empty. It's not solid. It's not, I'm going to say solid. I don't know. So once again, we fall into those dualistic terms. But it's no substance. Get it? Now, it's true, it's empty, but there's something. That's why we say 真空无妙. All right, 真空有妙, right? It's 真空有妙. Yeah, same thing. But there is something. So it's not just empty. Yes, it's empty because it's really indescribable and it's and it's non-dualistic. You get it? It's formless. It's non-dualistic. But there is something. So the 真空, you can say, it's like the akasha portion. And then the 妙有 is the Buddha nature. Understand? It's the Buddha nature that's at oneness, at one with that emptiness. That's what's absolute. But yet it's indescribable. That's the problem. That's why we have all these different teachings, different principles. Actually, the principles are, you can say, a function or a manifestation of this oneness. Get it? Because what good is it, just oneness? It's abstract. Everything's so abstract. Oneness. You get it? But there is a function, and that's what our functions. For example, applying to the humans. It's our mind. It's our mind and our 6 senses, or 7 senses, if you add in the subconscious. All right? Subconscious. It's that without that oneness, that Buddha nature, in this case, we say that Buddha nature, those 6 consciousnesses would be impossible. Understand? Right? Look at a dead person. Right? A robot. Right? Okay? All right? So that's what. But unfortunately, we humans, because we become what? We're quote unquote ignorant. That's what Buddha said. We're ignorant. We're driven by our what? Desires, passions, all that. We consider the physical form or the forms and our 6 consciousness, 7 consciousness to be real. And that's what will lead us astray and lead us down the path of reincarnation. Get it? So Buddha's whole 45, 49 years of all his teachings is to allow us to transcend, to, you can say, get rid of these wrong views, these attachments, desires to the physical phenomena and go to that Buddha nature. You get it? Or apply or see everything as from the Buddha nature perspective as opposed to from our conscious mind perspective. Right? Okay, that's essential. That's really I wouldn't say the hidden teaching, but that's really the true, the quote unquote, the supreme or highest, the highest level of understanding of all his teachings. Really, that's the whole point. Okay? So we should not get fixated on any of these individual concepts. Just to understand that, oh, there's a higher level. Okay? All right? So we hear teachings of the what? The five cardinal sins, right? Right? Patricide, matricide, what's that? Killing of our heart, right? Or shedding the blood of our heart. What else? Patricide, matricide. I forgot the other two. Anyway, so those are all externals, right? Yeah, you shouldn't kill your father. You shouldn't kill your mother. Should not shed the blood. Create, cultivator, or what is it? Create dissension, right?
Shedding the blood of a Buddha.
Right. We saw that.
Causing discord.
Discord,
within the Sangha community of cultivators.
And what's the fifth one? I forgot. I have it in here. It's in here.
That's what I said. Here. Causing discord.
What is it? Kill. Where is it? Five cardinal sins.
The bottom of page.
Oh yeah, that's it. Killing in our heart. No, killing in our heart. Yeah, page 2, page 3, page 3, page 3. Number 5. 五戒, right? 五忌, 忤逆, 五无间业, right? The 5 cardinal sins. Yeah, 5 cardinal sins, right? So those are the external. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's true. But actually, from a Buddha nature perspective, there's an internal aspect to it. Okay, so it means one is to kill passions, get rid of your passions, get rid of like and dislike. I forgot. There are 5 of them. Okay, there are 5 internal. So that's the Buddha nature. See, so that's the standard definition of the 5 cardinal sins. Those are the standard. So that's external. You see, so that's a teaching, right? Buddha taught that, right? But he also explained later to. Is this Mahakasyapa or Sariputta? One of his disciples, I forgot which one, that, yes, he taught that. That's one of his, and that's one of the central teachings that, you can't commit those sins, those 5 sins. But that's external. But Buddha explained to, I forgot which disciple, but one of his disciples, that, but there's a higher meaning behind that, which is, within all of us, we cannot commit the 5 cardinal sins. Within each one of us. And that is, one of them is we have to get rid of our passions. I forgot the other one is affliction. I forgot, something like that. There are 5 of them, okay? That's the whole point, all right? So that's what the Buddha nature view is. Everything comes down to, actually boil down to, that our inner self. Everything comes down to that, okay? What is that? What are they showing the video?
I think the video part of
from
the tsunami, this spirit.
Came down. Yeah. Is it?
I think that's why the screen.
This is
another.
Always scaring them. Yeah.
That's 土地公求道.
Oh, it's
it's too deep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's another celestial being, right?
Yes.
土地公 says it's one of the lowest level. Yeah, there's a term, just a technical term for that. I forgot the term, but anyway, 土地公. It's I forgot the technical term. There's a technical term for it, but anyway, but that's anyway. So
one way to, like all these dharmas, right? So what Buddha's saying, they're true teachings. Okay, so it's the truth, right? But the ultimate truth is when you put it into words or put it into teachings of the Dharma, then there are many different ways of talking about it. Okay, so it's not just one. So that's why you have many religions, right? So the teachings, they're still talking about that ultimate truth, right? So it's like in a court of law, right? You say you have to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, right? That's just the first part, the truth. But it's not the whole truth. Okay, so it's not each of these dharmas is not the whole truth. So that's why, Buddha responded to say, no, it's not, it's not just this.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
so
because it's you're looking from one angle only,
so that's just
one perspective.
A truth, okay,
right.
derived from the ultimate truth. So it's not the whole truth.
Or
so the whole
one
truth,
manifestation.
Yeah, the whole truth is hard to.
You can't. It's really hard to describe.
Ultimately, you have to be enlightened really to get to that ultimate.
To that oneness, that one essence.
Yeah, and the oneness also is like where do we all come from? Okay, we all come from. You can say God, right? So God made us in His image, right? So we share the essence of God, And there was only one God, right? In the beginning, it was just God, right? So that's the oneness. Okay, so the oneness, so we are all, you can say that we are like little gods. I mean, we are part of God, okay? You can say it that way. And so that, so, but to say that, but because we have the physical, I mean,
Form.
this
Yep,
duality,
yep, yep.
we see this duality in forms that we think we're separate, but we're all part of the oneness of God, you can say. Yeah, that's another way of saying it.
Yeah, so we should not, I mean, so really, yeah, when we discuss Buddha nature, it can become very abstract, unfortunately, all right? Okay, but just understand, actually, the Buddha nature, that oneness is complete, it's not totally describable. I mean, we can describe a little bit, we can give, inferences like I say, this emptiness, this infinite energy, infinite space and energy. That's really what it is, infinite space and energy. But then there is something, a will, a volition that's in charge of it, you can say, or that can transform this infinite space and infinite energy into infinite transformations. That's the Nirmanakaya. That's the three refuge in one, or the three bodies in one, the Trikaya, which is also in this list. Okay, all right. So, so it is this Buddha nature that's in charge, quote unquote. You got it? Okay, but we cannot describe that Buddha nature. We can partially with the four immeasurable minds, right? 四无量心. Okay, but even then, the four immeasurable minds, it's more human-like, right? We talk about those four types of, you can say, four types of qualities or traits. You understand, right? Right? 慈悲喜舍, right? Those are all very, you can say, quote unquote, human-like qualities, right? What is, what are the four immeasurable minds, right? Right? So, but here's very important. We say, isn't joy a human emotion? Isn't compassion a human emotion? The moon has no compassion, right? The moon doesn't feel, doesn't that, right? Isn't that a human compassion, right? That's very human-like. So how can that be Buddha? How can that be a Buddha nature? See, that's the standard definition, the four immeasurable minds. Okay, just like the four great vows, they're related, by the way. Those four immeasurable minds also are linked to the four great vows. You know that? People don't know that. Right? 慈 is the first vow. 慈, it's, yeah. No, loving kindness. That's because you love, you feel, you are, but then that's the external aspect. But really, the four immeasurable minds, it's all, you can say, manifestations or qualities, displays of that one essence. You get it, of our Buddha nature. You understand? You understand? So that's the internal. What's behind the four immeasurable mind? It's our Buddha nature. Understand? So you have to understand that. It's not our conscious thoughts. Get it? It's not conscious thoughts. Because conscious thoughts, how can it be, how can it have infinite happy joy? Our conscious thought, we have happiness and we have joy, right? I mean, sadness, right? We have all those dualities. We have called the 8 winds, right? The 八风, right? The 8 winds. And that's listed in that list too. But don't forget, see, that's why everything's linked, okay? But anyway, okay? We have those 8 winds, right? Anybody know what the 8 winds are? Never mind. We have, I don't want to talk about that. That's the human conscious mind. Isn't that true? Okay? But this is not. This is from our Buddha nature, understand? So that's the essence behind it. You get it? So, okay? But then it displays, you can say, its manifestation of the Buddha, of our essence or our Buddha nature mind, or Buddha mind, you can call it that, or Bodhi mind. It's the four, can you highlight those two? Right, the four immeasurable minds, right? You get it? So the first one, 慈, is 慈. In Chinese, we use 慈悲 a lot. The first half, 慈, just means loving kindness, forgiveness, all that. You know that? Tolerance, all that. And that gives rise to what? External. This is external now, right? It gives rise to the first vow, which is you want to save all sentient beings. Understand? You want to save everybody, right? Because you love them, right? You love them. You treat them as yourself. You are 100% forgiving. You are willing, right? And then the second one, 悲, is what? We say mercifulness, compassion. Yeah, empathy, right. It's really willing to suffer for us. So that leads to the second vow, which is what? To eliminate, extinguish all afflictions. Get it? Make sense? Make sense? right? It's linked. I'm saying it's connected, right? It's connected, right? It's the same quality. If you have that first two qualities, then at the highest level, you will make those two vows. You understand? Because you, right? And then what's the third? To master, well, the third vow is to master all the imperishable mind, right? That's really what? Equanimity. You get it? Because all his teachings talk about what? Detached, right? Be unattached, right? Well, that corresponds to number 3 on the Four Great Vows, which is what? State of what? Nirvana. What is state of nirvana? There is no what? No duality, right? No duality, 寂静, right? It's tranquility, it's quiescence, right? No what? I would say no emotion. Yeah, you can say no emotion. That means there's no passions. There's no afflictions. Isn't that liberation, happiness? That's joy. That's infinite joy. Boundless joy, right? It's infinite. Right, unperturbedness, quiescence, tranquility, all that, pureness, right? Purity. That's nirvana. Isn't that nirvana? Isn't that the third vow? Third vow is to to reach the state of nirvana, right? Well, it's fourth over there, but yeah, it's fourth over there. But I thought we switched it. No, we switched it in here. Remember?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. But the whole point is they link. Okay, with the happy, infinite happy joy. We call it happy joy, right? Infinite. So when you're in the state of nirvana, which means you have no attachment, you're unperturbed, you're not perturbed, or another way is that you're in, we call perfect state of sublime tranquilness or tranquility or whatever. It's hard to describe. Sublime. That's why it's called sublime, right? So that's called infinite happy joy. You get it? And then the last one, four immeasurable minds is what? Boundless or limitless or infinite equanimity, relinquishment, abnegation, all that. That's to what? Master all the dharmas. Because all the dharmas essentially talks about that. Get it? Make sense now? See? So they're linked. So they're connected. That's why in this panel, in this diagram, I have it listed as a supreme teaching. They are related. You understand? Make sense now? Make sense? The four immeasurable minds and the four great vows are the same, right? Okay? Yeah. Right. That's the first step. Yeah.
Of course, to give to all sentient beings, the ultimate level is to also get to let go of Dharma.
Yeah, that's the highest level. Yeah. Now, yeah. When you say master all Dharma, see, then, okay. So now I'm trying to link. See, so from the whole point about this class, when we talk about Buddha nature class, is that you can see beyond these standard definitions or terminologies or concepts, right? We have a separate concept of what the four great vows are, right? And a separate idea of what the four immeasurable minds are. But then from the Buddha nature perspective, they're linked. Understand? They right? I just try to link them, right? Didn't I tell? But now that's the external side. Okay, that's the external. Yes, and to let go of all that. That's what relinquishment means. Okay, all right. The four great minds. Now, four immeasurable minds. Now, on the four great vows, there's an internal piece to that too. You know that? Hello. There's an internal piece to that four great vows. The four great vows, what the standard definition we see is just the external side. Yeah, you want to save all sentient beings. You want to extinguish all afflictions or passions or vexations, right? In all sentient beings, right? And then you want to master all the teachings, like you say, to understand all the different concepts, right? Okay. And to realize that the highest Dharma is that there is no external teaching, okay? And it's really the Buddha nature, okay? And then the fourth one is to reach a state of quiescence, or really transcend samsara, which is nirvana. You get it? Nirvana is to transcend samsara, meaning there's no birth, no extinction. Where samsara is what? There is birth, there is extinction or death. You get it? That's what samsara is all about, right? That's called reincarnation, right? You're born, you get old, you get sick, and you die. Then you repeat the whole cycle. You get born again, you get, right? You grow up, you get old, you get sick, and you die. Repeat, repeat, right? That's samsara. Nirvana is none of that. Get it? Because you are in that oneness. Understand? So that's for the external, right? That's the external. And it's true. But really, there's an internal path. And that's what Transmitter Rome talked about in the afternoon class, right? In the youth study class a couple weeks ago, right? Didn't you talk about that? The internal? And it's also in the chapter 6 on repentance of the Platform Sutra. That's why you have to read Platform Sutra. Okay? So you can understand, or at least get an understanding, partial understanding of what is the internal aspect of the 4 great vows. To summarize, the internal aspect of the first great vow is that you have to what? It says save, right? Save all sentient beings. Well, guess what? That's external. Yeah, external, yeah. Save everybody, right? Save the poor, wretched humans, animals, etc. Okay? That's the external side. Which is not wrong. That's true too. That's the external aspect. There's an internal aspect within yourself, within each one of ourselves. Okay? And that is to what? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't want. Yeah, you can say get rid of. Yeah. Okay. It means to eliminate or to, we call deliver, quote unquote, or to save, quote unquote, all our afflictions, passions, and vexations. You get it? What do I mean by save or deliver? It means, yeah, you can say ultimately rid of it, to overcome it, to, all right, to right, okay, to not become unperturbed, not be disturbed or controlled by, but also by these vexations, worries, etc. You get it? Afflictions. That's really the first vow. Okay? That's the internal aspect. And what's the second one? To what? Extinguish all what? Afflictions, right? Or passions or whatever. Okay? Vexations, whatever. Okay? Right? Afflictions, right? Extinguish all 烦恼, right? Passion is part of that. Okay? That's the external side. Yeah, so that means we cannot be what? Angry, right? The 3 poisons, all that stuff, right? All that stuff, right? Okay? That's the external side. What's the internal side, guys? Come on. This is Buddha Nature class. Come on. What's the internal side? Come on. You guys didn't read chapter 6? Nobody read chapter 6 of the Platform Sutra? Isn't that the homework that we're supposed to be doing? See, that's why if you don't put in an effort, you're not going to get much out of Buddha Nature class. No, seriously. I mean it. You really have to put in an effort. If you don't, I'm sorry. You're not going to learn anything. It's going to go in 1 year and come out the other. Okay? Seriously. After tomorrow, guarantee you're going to forget all this. Guarantee. All right? Okay? So you have to. Hey, and I'm speaking from personal experience. Okay? Everybody else that studies this will say the same thing. Okay? All right? So if you don't put in an effort, if you don't do your homework, I'm sorry. You're not going to get any. To you, this is just a seminar. Just a seminar. Knowledge. Just pure knowledge. And knowledge is what? Can be learned and yet can be forgotten. Get it? Knowledge can be learned and can be forgotten. That's because we're using your conscious mind. Understand? So if you don't put in an effort and apply using your Buddha nature, using the what quote unquote Bodhi mind. Lecturer Liu likes to talk about the Busan Bumie, the Xing, right? What's the mind that cannot be created nor can be destroyed? What is that mind? Yeah, you can say the 4 immeasurable minds. Yeah, that's the Buddha nature mind. It's really our Bodhi mind. Okay, it's the Bodhi mind. That's why it's also in this list. Okay, the Bodhi mind. Okay, it's a requirement, by the way. It's Mingxing Jianqing. It's part of the Mingxing part. Okay, it's to be awakened to our Buddha nature. You can say that. That's another way of talking about. So if you don't apply that, if you do not use that through practice, through doing your homework, then it's just all knowledge. Understand? Just all knowledge. Get it? Okay? Yeah.
I would say this, the internal would be like the second level truth, the causes of all this affliction on the outside that we have to annihilate, eliminate.
Yeah, that's like repetitive the first time. That's not. The second internal is this. It just means to you're partially right. I mean, you're not 100% wrong. No, I'm gonna say no. I don't want to say that. But you're on the correct path. But anyway, the point is this: it just means to replace our six conscious minds, or six consciousness, or seven, with what? Our Bodhi mind, our Buddha nature mind. That's all. That's all. You get it? It's to replace our delusional and elusive. That means what? Ever-changing, right? Anicca, remember anicca? The elusive and delusional mind, i.e. our six consciousness, okay? With what? Our Buddha nature, our Bodhi mind. Yeah, Bodhi mind. Well, yeah, wisdom is the other, is the application part, right? And that's the next one. Okay, that's the next one. Though that's the next one. The next one, to master all the immeasurable dharmas. Remember? Didn't I? Oh, what the heck is that? Externally, oh, we gotta learn all these concepts. Oh my, what a pain. Yeah, I gotta do my homework. Yeah, I gotta read all these sutras. Oh my God, what a pain. What a pain. Well, yeah, okay. Well, that's what most humans would say. I'm working, 6 days a week. How can I have time to do this? Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, the question is, you gotta look at the long term. This is short term. Yeah, you got a job. Yeah, you got this 100 years or so physical life. The question is, what's gonna happen after that? Do you want to come back again? Oh, okay. All right. That's up to you, right? That's your choice. Okay. But anyway, so what does that mean? To master all the immeasurable minds. What does that mean? Externally, yeah, we got to learn all these teachings. But guess what? Ultimately, it's your Buddha wisdom. That's what he's talking. It's our Buddha. That's the manifestation of that Buddha nature. Wisdom is infinite. Isn't it infinite? It's infinite. It's infinite. It's not something that you learn. Say, oh, wisdom 101. Let's see. First wisdom, second wisdom, third. No. Not that. Understand? It's from your Buddha nature. So if you are able to do the first two, get the first two down, then the third one will follow. You get it? The wisdom will flow. Well, it's like the sun, right? The sun's always shining. Just that this morning or yesterday, right? It's cloudy. Where's the sun? The sun's still there. Buddha nature is still there. Just remove the clouds. What are the clouds? Passions, afflictions, ignorance, vexations, attachments, desires, wrong views, all of that. I'm forgetting all these terms. The 10 wrong views. Okay? Page 6, all right? All that. You get rid of all that. And what happens? And that's the first two. Remember, isn't that the first two vows? Right? Internally. What happens? Infinite wisdom will arise. Hello? Right? Because your Buddha nature is left. What? Right? Buddha nature is left. Make sense? So that's where you can master all dharmas. That's the external side. But internal side, you have infinite wisdom. It's from that oneness. Get it? Make sense now? Yeah, makes sense. Now you understand a little bit what the Buddha nature is? Right? So 4 great vows, there's an internal component, right? We never really learned that, right? But you got to read chapter 6 on repentance. I think it's on one of the editions, page 46 or 47. I forgot. You guys can look it up, okay? It's one of those pages. On that standard translation of the Sutra of Huineng. That's Platform Sutra. That's one of the translations. I use that, because you have to use something, right? It's page 46 or 45. I forgot. It's one of those pages. But it talks about it. It's on chapter 6 anyway. Don't forget. And it's not that long. It's a medium-sized chapter. He talks about the different things, okay, in chapter 6. He talks about repentance, the 4 great vows, the Trikaya. Okay, so that's why Lecture Liu's topic on that chapter explains in more detail about that. But that's more later. That's chapter 6. But anyway, so that's the wisdom. You get it? Because it's an application or a manifestation of that one principle, that oneness. Understand? Make sense? Of our Buddha nature. And then that's the internal side. You get it? Make sense now? And what's the last one? Ooh, Nirvana. Nirvana, guys. What's that? Yeah, right? Isn't that right? About to attain enlightenment, right? That's nirvana. You can say, or transcend. Enlightenment means to what? Transcend samsara. Isn't that nirvana? No birth and death, right? Cessation of birth and death. So it's not a place. We think of, oh, we go to heaven, absolute heaven. We go there. You have to say, we go there. That's wrong. That's a wrong view, wrong description. Maybe that's not a good apt description. Actually, that's the external. See, we think of the external. We say, oh, there's a place. There's some place. Beyond this universe, different dimension. We think of a space. We tend to think of space and time, right? Our views are all constrained by the space-time duality and all that stuff, or continuum, whatever. You get it? That's external. That's really wrong. That's why you can never explain the absolute truth using these terminology or using those perspectives. Make sense? Okay. What really? The internal piece of that is what? Hello. Nirvana, Jijing. It's really what? It's the fourth immeasurable mind. I mean, it's No. No. It's the absolute joy, right? It's really what? It's what? Come on. What's the fourth? Is that when we abide in that state of absolute tranquility, or absolute tranquility. I don't say absolute, but that subtle, sublime quiescence. When we remember, I talk about the first two, right? Yeah, that's the most important. Those first two vows, the internal aspect. I'm talking external is important too, but internal side. When you could reach that, you are at a state of what? Unperturbedness, right? Tranquility, right? Unperturbedness, non-dualistic, non-attached. That's Jijing or Jimian, right? That's nirvana, guys. That's the internal aspect. You understand? So externally, you become enlightened. You get it? Get it? Right? So that's the four great vows internally. That's the Buddha nature class that we're talking about. Okay, that's from the Buddha nature perspective. Makes sense? And it's connected to the four immeasurable minds, which is the external part. Because we say, oh, joy, happiness, right? Those are all, external or human-like traits, right? But it's all that one essence, that Buddha nature. Get it? So the Buddha nature is absolute, right? So when you look at when you have this understanding, you'll realize all Buddha's teachings, right? He taught in the in the first class about Eightfold Paths, but then he talked about the Four Great Vows, right? All point to that one essence, that one thing. You get it? That oneness. Understand? That's the Buddha nature perspective. So if you don't understand Buddha nature, it's hard to grasp the totality, the completeness, or the interconnectedness of all his different teachings. Make sense? So itong, you get it? So if you have that one essence, you penetrate. It's called itong. Literally means penetration or pervasive or pervading. It's all pervading. That means it's all connected. Yes, all the dharmas, right? All the infinite dharmas, right? Infinite dharmas, they are all one. Get it? They all go one. And so that's why Buddha said you have to let go of all dharmas because it's all one. Get it? It's all to that oneness. Make sense? See, that's Buddha nature, guys. So you really have to, all right? We really have to make an effort, all right? You have to be diligent and do your homework. Because otherwise, what I just talked about, it's very difficult for you to grasp or retain. Retain. So you have to concept, all right? So that's really what, I mean, I'm just using this as an example, okay? I mean, these are examples because they're kind of easy to see, all right? So now, folks, you now understand the Four Noble Truths leads to the Four Great Vows and is connected to the Four Immeasurable Minds, and they're all connected to our one essence. Get it? Make sense now? So you don't learn this in the internet, guys. And in most standard teachings, they don't do that. They don't make that connection. Understand? Because they don't talk about it. They don't explain it from the Buddha nature perspective. See? So that's why we talk about it I don't want to say we explain it this way. We can explain it this way from the Buddha nature perspective. Now it makes sense? So it's all one. Understand? So, and it also goes even more. It naturally leads, you say infinite wisdom, right? All that also leads to the 6 supernatural powers too, by the way. Okay? Once you attain that level. That's why it's in the same panel. Makes sense? But people now pursue, say, oh, I want to have divine divine eyes, divine ears, or psychic powers, or know the past and future. Ooh, I want those powers. Yeah, you can get those powers. Yeah, you can pursue some magic book or spells, like Harry Potter and all that stuff. Yes, you can. You said you can. Those first 5 transcendental powers. I think I talked about the 6 transcendental powers here in that list too, right? You can get that. You can the first 5, right? What's the first 5? Divine eye, divine ear, mental telepathy or no knowledge of others, no thoughts of others, not knowledge, and then knowledge of all. Knowledge, power to be anywhere and anything. That's psychic powers, right? And then the 5th one is knowledge of all past and future, right? Okay, so it's right there. Yeah, it's all right. So now, yes. Those first 5, very important. Yeah, those first 5. Oh, no Q&A? Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. I have to talk about this because then that will give you a flavor, a taste of what the Buddha nature perspective is like, okay? Those first 5 can be gained from external means. You know that? It's just on different level. You get it? Different levels. Now, celestial beings, like an asura, has those first 5. You know that? By the way? Yeah, they have those first 5. An asura. You know what an asura is, right? Okay? Aspara, same thing. You know what an aspara is, right? That's a technical term. It means qi tian xian. It's in general aspara. Literally it means they're flying, like flying angels or divas. No, it's called aspara. Yeah, you go Aspara. It's hard to find in the dictionary. Okay, you have to go to the Buddhist dictionaries. I think. Even Buddhist dictionary may not have it. Here's an example, since you know Chinese history. If you go to the grottos, the caves, the dong of those Buddhists, China, there are 5 of them, 4 or 5 clusters. You go to watch those murals, they paint asparas. They paint asuras, but they also show asparas. You go to Tibetan monasteries, they'll show them, okay? Some of them, it's called aspara. Okay? Yeah, the frescoes, the grottos, the grottos, the Shandong, the Donghuang. There's several. There are 5. There's, I think, 5. Anyway, I think there are 5. I forgot. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That's you guys can look it up on the internet, okay? All right, so what I'm trying to say is those are all external stuff, okay? But they're just at different levels. So some asuras have one level, other asparas have another level. Arhats have that too. They can have that, but different levels, once again. So like number what? In this case, number 4, or number 5, know about the past and future. Certain, of Buddhist disciples, they are arhats. They say, oh, I can look back 500 lives. But Buddha count infinite lives, So that's why, like Mahakasyapa, Moggallana, he can say, Buddha, but this disciple, the reason why he is ignorant or he's hard of learning, he has mental challenges because at his 499th previous life he had this, he did this, and now it's that. Buddha say, that's limited. Really, even before that. See, so Buddha has infinite. Okay, so anyway, Buddha, no time. Get it? No time. That's why, right? Space time. Remember I talked about space time before? Buddha has no space time. Get it? Because it's infinite. It's infinite space, infinite time. Get it? Okay, that's the Akasha Buddha nature. Remember? Okay. So anyway, so those first 5 you can get. Okay, from external sources. I mean, internal too, but that's not the most important. The most important is number 6. And remember the 4 great vows? If you can achieve that, you get number 6. Make sense? Hello? Makes sense. And that's why it's internal. That only comes from internal sources. Get it? Make sense? Instead of that 4th great vow. You get it? Because the 4 great vows. Because the first 2, it's all internal. It's all internal. You get it? So if you can extinguish everything, then that means why? Think about it. Why all Buddhas, when they reincarnate, doesn't matter what life situation, what status that they were at. Guan Yin, for example, or not Guan Yin, anybody. 6 patriarch, for example, right? 6 patriarch. Regardless of what human conditions that they were born into, they can still aspire and become enlightened. Why? Because they achieved number 6. Get it? Number 6. So that's very important. So when we're learning, cultivating, we really want to achieve number 6. We don't care about the first 5. The first 5 will come naturally as a result of number 6. You know that? See, so we humans, unfortunately, do it the other way. We say, oh, I want to get the first 5 first. Forget about number 6. Number 6 I can save for later. I want to get the first 5. Well, guess what? That's the path of Asura, by the way. Haha. Yeah, Asura. Asura never corrected themselves. They still have desires. They still have afflictions or whatever, vexation. They basically have desires, essentially. Attachments. You get it?
So are this incremental, or you can just go to the last and then...
No. Yeah, the first 5 really is the manifestation of really achieving the number 6. If you can achieve the number 6, you naturally have all those 5. And those 5 will be infinite. Get it? Or boundless. Understand? But if we pursue those first 5 first, then you have limitations. And then you'll definitely not transcend samsara. You'll still become an asura. Get it? Or if you have bad attachments, okay? If you're good, you could become an aspara. Okay? Understand? So now we understand the 6 comes naturally with those 4 great vows and the 4 immeasurable minds now. Understand? See, that's the Buddha nature. That's the Buddha nature. You understand? But externally, right, we look at this, oh, this is separate. How can that be related to the 4 great vows? The 4 immeasurable minds? The 4 noble truths? It's not related. It's not. Because they are distinct teachings. That is true. That is true too. But that's only the external view. Okay? Or that's the fundamental view or basic view. Okay? Understand? So that's why, folks, we want to pursue Buddha nature. Understand? Or learn about Buddha nature. Or see everything from the Buddha nature view. Make sense now, guys? You're not going to find this on the internet. Okay? All right? But do your homework. You have to do your homework. Yeah.
The homework, the chapter 6, and all the lecture reviews, they are all on the internet. So you can,
Yeah, but it's not finalized. I mean, it's not. I mean, but you can still get some basic stuff out of there. Okay. I'm sorry I talked too long. Any questions at all? Any more questions? But this is just a flavor, okay? This is just an example, and I'm just barely scratching the surface, okay? So actually, all right, so that's the reason why we have to approach everything from the Buddha nature. Understand? At the highest level, okay? Make sense now? So now you can see everything's connected, or linked, or interconnected, that oneness, once again, okay? Externally, yes, we see all these different teachings, which is fine. That's okay. That's okay. You have to learn something first, right? Then you realize, oh, at the highest level, what Buddha is teaching, what Confucius, everybody, Lao Tzu, it's all talking from that oneness, that one essence. Make sense? 本体, yeah.
So, I wanted to say this, another homework, or you use it to scratch the surface, is to really be serious about practicing to let go of all karmic affinities. And, right, so do not give rise to a single
That's
thought.
really the
That's
infinite
extremely
equanimity
important. You
too.
should all practice that
Limitless
every
equanimity.
day, even though you don't know how to begin, but try it, okay? This is so important because, especially, it's always been mentioned in the Buddha Nature class and audio. There's a reason that he's saying that, and I think that's the part where we can all work on our internally. That's something that lecture Kai keep telling us about the internal part. That has something to do with it. Actually, a lot to do with it.
Yeah, we have to practice that. Now that's the internal, you can say cultivation, internal practice. Yeah, externally we learn the different teachings, but we have to practice within our mind to let go. See, actually let go, of all, let go of all, what? Affinities. No. Let go of all karmic affinities and do not let a single thought arise. It's really a summarization. It's really a summarizing the internal aspect of the 4 great vows, right? Remember the first 2, right? You say you have to get rid of all our passions. That's letting go of all our thoughts and our affinities. You get it? Okay? And then replace it with the second vow is what? Replace it with Buddha nature vow, right? I mean Buddha nature, right? Or Bodhi mind, right? Right? That's really the first two. Actually, it's connected to the dharmas too. You let go of all dharmas, let go. Do not be attachment. Yeah, and also reach a state of what? Quiescence, right? That's nirvana. Get it? See, it's actually really, that's the internal. See, so Lecture Liu just want to make it simple. He just summarizes everything. Yeah, because he just want to conclude. You get it? So in essence, it's let go of all thoughts or karmic affinities. It's the same idea. It's the same thing. But I was going more in detail. That's all. Talk about the 4 great vows. Understand? Yeah. What you're saying is the broadest. Overall. Right. Yeah. No. You just have to practice it. Just do it. You cannot do it. Do it for 1 second, even 5 seconds. Then over time, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, half a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then forever. Okay. I mean, then perpetual. Okay. All right. That's the highest. Then you reach nirvana.
Also, anywhere, anyhow.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Slowly you expand.
Yeah.
So what I did was, I don't know if I have time. Just quickly, my personal experience is I started when just before I fall asleep, I would start telling myself, let go of all karmic lineage. And so far, I feel it's being working really great because how we have trouble falling asleep?
Yeah.
When you start practicing that,
It's easy to fall asleep. Yeah.
you just fall asleep
Yeah.
without
Yeah. I agree.
And so
I've done that.
It's so true that when you wake up the next morning,
Refresh.
you
Yeah.
are so refreshed.
Yeah.
Your mind is just so clear.
Yeah. Because you have nothing else. Yeah. No other thought.
It
See?
won't happen overnight. You have to keep
No. You have to practice it. Yeah.
keep on going.
Don't worry. Just do it. Just do it. 1 day at a time. 1 day at a time.
Actually, just religion, senior religion is always advocating to have no thoughts because that's replenishing our energy.
Yeah. Well, actually, Lao Chen also talked about that. You know that? You know that? When we visited him in Busan before? Yeah, actually, Grand Predecessor talks about that too, but that's okay. See, but it all goes to that oneness. You get it? Make sense?